Greetings, guys. Mr. Kairi here. Won't be in class today. As I told you guys, I have a doctor's appointment, but I have some things for you here today for this week. And the beginning of next week, we'll be doing our midterm review. All right, so we got to lock in here. The time is now. We're almost halfway through the year, and I'm very proud of you, my seniors. We're on the right path. These senior projects are going to be absolutely wonderful. All right, but we have to sharpen our tools and make sure things are on point. All right, so today we're going over rhetorical techniques. All right, let me not get too close to that. Rhetorical techniques. And before we begin, let me go through a few things on the agenda. First and foremost, I sent you guys your emails over the weekend. Your itinerary for your senior thesis is in your email. You check your free area account. If your name is not Rakima Williams, then you should have one in your free area account. Ms. Williams, you can find yours in your Gmail. All right. So I was just discussing the importance of now. All right. I also emailed you the subjects or topics that will be on your midterm. All right. So if you've checked your email, then you know what they are. Okay. You know what to study. Today we have the rhetorical techniques. All right. And just so we're clear before I start, okay, these here on this side are components, and this here is how you identify. Okay. So remember, our rhetorical techniques are our persuasive techniques, or the techniques that we use in order to persuade our listeners, our readers. All right. And in terms of our senior thesis, we're gonna have to do a lot of persuasion. All right, because we're presenting arguments, some of which have never been presented before. So our logic, our ethos, pathos, logos, and our concession has to be on point. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to touch on is ethos. All right, and I give you about 5 seconds to think about. Well, it's here on the board. No point in doing that. Ethos. All right. If y'all remember, ethos is credibility. All right. The persuasive technique of credibility, using credibility to persuade your reader. All right. Using someone who is more knowledgeable than yourself, or who is presumed to be more knowledgeable than yourself. Okay. And the way you identify ethos is simple. It is the presumed expertise or the presentation or insinuation of expertise. All right. Moving on, we have pathos, which is passion and emotion. All right, passion and emotion. And the way you're going to recognize this or identify it in writing is through word choice. Okay, colorful language, selective language. For this one in particular, think back to the commercials that you see on different channels. It says $5 for $5 a month. You can blasey, 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 and they do the close scope of the child's eyes, or the little cat or the little dog, and they really try to pull that emotion out of you. Okay, you're trying to do something similar with your writing. All right, so your adjectives, your adverbs, your sentence structure, your rhythm, you want that to be on point so that when the reader reads that, you evoke that emotion, that passion. Right, you persuade them via emotion. All right, logos is simple, logic. Okay, known knowledge. All right, and the way you identify this is the presentation of an area of study, perhaps, or facts, or presentation, or the presentation of facts. Okay, so presenting something as if it were true. All right, not to blur the line between our rhetorical techniques or our claims, but the two do go hand in hand. Okay, so when you're talking logos, you're speaking logic. All right, you're talking about statistics, you're talking about dates, you're talking about accurate accounts. All right, but something that you need to realize and acknowledge, and for each of these rhetorical techniques, is this: ethos, pathos, or logos, right, can be used whether the statements are true or not. Okay, so let's come over to the second board here. I have a few examples for us. All right, so pathos, excuse my writing, you know, I don't write too well. My mom wanted me to be a doctor. All right, I don't write too well. The crowd clamored with expectation. The air was electric as the band took the stage. Okay, that's a form of pathos. Okay, and this is more on the creative front. This is not necessarily argument, but this is the creative front here. The crowd clamored with expectation. The air was electric as the band took the stage. Okay. Or if you need another example in terms of argument, right? Think back to when we watched The Great Debaters in class. All right. And Miss Samantha Book comes up and she's speaking to Denzel Washington's character, and he asks her, well, what about poverty? She said, well, it's the look in the mother's eyes when she can't feed her kids. Could you bear that? Could you bear that sight? Right? And that's her appealing to Mr. Washington's character's emotions, right? She's trying to provoke some kind of emotional arousal or some form of connection with him so that she can win her argument, right? Moving on, we have ethos, okay? And I have this one starred for a particular reason. According to Men's Health, 10% of men will blase, 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 okay? Now this is ethos, all right? And the ethos is simple. Men's Health magazine, all right? That's the ethos. That is the credibility. That is the presumed expertise or insinuated expertise, all right? And the reason why I have this star is because there's also a hint of logos here, okay? According to Men's Health, 10% of men will blase, 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 okay? And you will find that you can intertwine any of these techniques, okay? In fact, the most powerful approaches in argument usually contain all three of these techniques at once, okay? There's some form of an emotional appeal, there's some form of credibility, right, that puts the author on a platform, and there's also some form of statistics or factual evidence, some logos, right, that makes it all, that sews it all together, all right? And the final example is here. Logos. In 1956, blase, 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 all right? And you may think that dates don't really count for much, but they actually do, all right? They in fact give you a bit of credibility, and they allow you to connect dots throughout time, okay? So if you comparing 2014 to 1956, it's important that we know where we're stopping, right, in 1956, right? We need that logos, we need those, that date, that time. We may need the statistics in order to actually corroborate the claim, all right? So keep all of these things in mind, right? You should have the assignment for today in your email, or it should be printed out in the class, okay? Whichever one I've chosen to do before fourth and sixth period, okay? But take your time with this, all right? Sharpen your tools. If you feel as though you've mastered this already, that you know this, take it a step further, okay? Make compound rhetorical techniques, sentences, passages. Find ways to incorporate it into your thesis, okay? Think about a means of fitting it into your introduction, all right? Because you want to make that introduction very appealing. You want to make it sensational. You want to make it engaging, okay? So that the reader wants to continue reading. No one wants to read 7 to 11 pages of white rice, okay? That is to say, no one wants to read a bland paper, right, with no seasoning or no filling, all right? So that is our midterm review for today, all right? Rhetorical techniques. You have the exercises. They've been provided for you. Take your time with those carefully, okay? If you finish early, move on to whichever stage you are in with your orders of operation for your senior project, okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow, all right? Our education, our future. Have a wonderful day, y'all. Be blessed, be safe, be aware of your surroundings. If no one has told you today, you are loved, all right? Mr. Kairi signing out.